positive cases being attributable to local transmission. The number of active cases stands at 12,357. The nation is informed that the surge, which has been reported the previous week, continues, with a total of 8,042 cases recorded during the period under review, compared to 3,882, which was reported the previous week. This represents a 107% increase. As you might be aware, the entire country is now under level 4 lockdown. This is following the surge in COVID-19 cases. The worst affected provinces are Mashonaland West with 2,114 cases, Mashonaland Central 2,957, Harare Metropolitan 1,041, Mashonaland East Province 847, and Midlands Province 848. Regarding case management, infection, prevention and control, the Ministry of Health and Childcare remains seized with managing COVID-19 cases which are detected in different parts of the country. Companies and universities have enough raw materials to increase production of PPE stocks and medicines which are used to manage COVID-19 symptoms. With regard to primary and secondary education, the nation is advised that in preparation for the opening of schools for the second term, the Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and Childcare, has instituted the following contingent measures. A, inspection visits are being carried out to assess the state of preparedness at all boarding schools, high enrollment day schools, and schools with very limited infrastructure. Then B, ensuring adequate wash provisions at every school. C, completion of COVID-19 infection prevention and control training workshops for teaching and non-teaching staff. And finally D, confirmation of COVID-19 essential supplies in all districts. The Ministry of Primary and Secondary Education is working on modalities to enable a blend of face-to-face classroom learning, remote learning at home and in communities, as well as alternative learning platforms such as e-learning, radio and television. Provincial reports on the COVID-19 situation were made following visits to Mashonaland Central Province done by Minister Kazembe, Manicaland Province by Minister Mchangwa, Matabeleland South by Minister Gyovu, Midlands by Minister Mube, and Mashonaland West by Minister Ziambe. Cabinet noted that they noted the reports from the provinces and assures the nation that measures are being put in place to reduce the burden of the COVID-19 diseases on our citizens and to ensure that lives will not be unnecessarily lost. Some of the findings from the provinces indicated that there were constraints in the following matters. These are some of the constraints which were discovered by the ministers who visited the provinces, which the government is now dealing with. Shortage of some PPEs, misinformation on vaccines, negative effects, shortage of healthcare workers at some stations. Some district hospitals such as Nyanga and Chipingwe require bulk oxygen tanks, while some like Rimba in Mashonaland West, Plumtree in Gwanda, in Matabeleland South require functional isolation centers. Construction works at Mvurwi Hospital in Mashonaland Central Province should be expeditiously completed to meet the current rising demand. Also, it was noted that funerals have become major spreaders within the province. As such, the environmental health workers and police are working together to up their game in the enforcement of the mandatory numbers. While village health workers are playing their part in educating villagers, we implore traditional leaders to be more visibly and forceful in the enforcement of lockdown regulations. There are inadequate tools of trade such as desktops for our officers, and that is being looked at and that will be solved. the issue of fuel, the issue of vehicles. These are some of the reports which were coming from the provincial task force teams which we met as we were in the provinces, and these will be dealt with. Also the requirement that at least we should have 40% staff, that is being adhered to make sure that we contain this disease. The issue of poor network connectivity for both staff reporting for duty and those working from home, because that's important when we talk about virtual meetings. And some provincial task force indicated that there is erratic fuel supply, which again is being addressed because we do not want to lose our people unnecessarily under these circumstances. So given the above challenges, Cabinet has directed that Treasury urgently releases the first tranche of $368 million, Zimbabwe dollars, which it had committed towards funding the enforcement of level 4 lockdown measures. This will certainly reinforce the current efforts of containing the spread of COVID-19. The nation is advised that the exemption mechanisms which was used during the first lockdown in 2020 will be reactivated with immediate effect. And also would like to tell you that stiffer penalties will be imposed for violations of COVID-19 restrictions, including the withdrawal of operating licenses. Then we moved on to the progress report on the procurement and rollout of COVID-19 vaccines. Cabinet received an update on the procurement and rollout of the COVID-19 vaccines, which was presented by the Vice President as Minister of Health and Child Care, Honorable CGDN Chiwenga. The nation is informed that as of 4th July 2021, a total of 795,171 people had received their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine and 569,091 their second dose. This is across the country. Cabinet advises that the rollout of vaccines in hotspot areas and border posts is in full swing, with a total of 1,800 vaccinated, for example, at Chirundu border post, out of a total of 2,641 adults who are eligible for vaccination. The vaccination exercise at the people's markets at Mbari Musika and Highfields, as we speak, is proceeding well. The nation is also informed that the distribution of the Sinopharm vaccine to provinces commenced on Friday, 2 July 2021. This is from the batch which arrived last Saturday of 500,000. Every province received 15,000 first doses, except for Harare Metropolitan, Manicaland Province, and Mashonaland West Province, which received 20,000 doses each. The nation is advised that a total of 2 million vaccine doses which have been procured from the People's Republic of China are expected in the country by the 8th of July 2021. Cabinet further reports that the Ministry of Health and Child Care has dispatched 8 oxygen concentrators and 1,420 pulse oximeters to provincial and district hospitals. This is in support of the virtual hospitals concept. The ministry is in the process of procuring 3,000 oxygen concentrators, pulse oximeters, thermometers, glucometers, and blood pressure machines for the virtual hospital concept. It is reported that there are 356 admitted cases countrywide, representing a 21% occupancy rate. Measures are being put in place to ensure that all hospitals have adequate facilities to meet any surges in demand as we tackle this third wave. Then Cabinet received reports on the 7th 100-day cycle of the Second Republic. Cabinet received reports on the 7th 100-day cycle of the Second Republic from the Ministers of Health and Child Care, that's Honorable Vice President CGDN Chiwenga, then the Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Zit, and then Honorable Soda Jemu, and the Minister of Energy and Power Development, and Minister July Moyo, Local Government and Public Works. The Vice President and Minister of Health and Child Care, Honorable C.G.G. Nchwenga, advised that solar power had been installed at 129 of the targeted 150 primary care clinics during the current cycle. Cabinet further advises that 40 of the targeted 100 boreholes were drilled. Construction of a dedicated water line to Bindura Hospital is now 91% complete, while the refurbishment of Chegutu District Hospital is 20% complete. Regarding the Impilo electronic health record rollout, Cabinet reports that the Impilo electronic health record system was deployed to 100 of the targeted 250 new sites. The Minister of Justice, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, Honorable Ziyambi Ziyambi, advised that construction of Chinhoyi Magistrates Court in Mashonaland West and Lupane Magistrates Court in Matabeleland North provinces are on schedule. Then the Chikurubi Training School Staff Housing Project, which seeks to have 40 blocks of houses constructed, is 75% complete. Under the Horticulture Overhead Irrigation Project, Andrew Prison Farm in Matabeleland North planted 5 hectares of sugar bean, 1.2 hectares of cabbages, which are ready and are now being harvested. Also, 33 hectares of maize was planted, 17 hectares of sorghum, 5 hectares of seed sorghum, and 1.2 hectares of sweet potato is being harvested now at Andrew Prison Farm. Then at Wurungwe Prison Farm in Mashonaland West Province, Cabinet reports that planting of various horticultural crops is also on target. The Minister of Energy and Power Development, Honorable Jemusona, reported that construction of Units 7 and 8 at the Wange Power Station are at 66.73% against a target of 91.84%. The Zimbabwe Jongjin Electric Project is overall 98% complete. The power plant design and construction is 100% complete, while the transmission line is at 90%, with 1.3 kilometers of the line section remaining for completion by end of July 2021. On the electrification of Kanyemba, the nation is advised that a total of 17.23 kilometers of 33 kilovolts high voltage line has been completed. An additional survey and way leave clearance for 7.2 kilometers of high voltage line was already done. Pertaining the Harawa solar power plant, installation of the 6 megawatt solar panel has been completed. The evacuation line thereof was completed, and the substation equipment is awaiting delivery from China. And regarding the Solgas solar power plant, the nation is informed that 5 megawatts photovoltaic solar panels were installed. Earthing equipment for the power plant was completed, 28 high voltage transmission interconnector completed, and substation equipment is being delivered once again from China for installation. Then the Minister of Local Government and Public Works, Honorable G. Moyo, reported that glazing, flooring, glazing and painting of the classroom block at Vira Secondary School in Gurue, which is in Mashonaland Central, was completed. Then the upgrading of water and sanitation facilities at the flea market by the Lupane Local Board is 97% complete and is expected to meet scheduled date. Upgrading of 3.6 kilometers of sewer trunk mains in Chegutu is at 92% completion. The Rural Local Board has installed 3 solar-powered boreholes. Then there's the rehabilitation of the Munyuko vegetable market stores in Epwe, which is at 95% and will be completed within the current 100-day cycle. And we'll move on to the principles to amend the Tourism Act 1996, Chapter 14.20. Cabinet considered and approved the principles to amend the Tourism Act of 1996, Chapter 4.20, which was presented by the Minister of Environment, Climate, Tourism and Hospitality Industry, Honorable N.M. Rovo. The nation is advised that the Tourism Amendment Bill will seek to align the Tourism Act to the Constitution and to remove any sections that conflict with Public Entities and Corporate Governance Act. The amendment bill will further broaden the scope of tourism to include sustainable tourism and universal access to tourism for both locals and international visitors. The proposed provisions seek to ensure that Zimbabwean people benefit from local resources. I want to thank you. That brings us to the end of today's post.